But if you want to change your face and you're only 20 something and you're talking about Botox and this job and that job and all these different surgeries, maybe you should try makeup. I wasn't into makeup back then, but it's like now that I'm older and I'm into it, it's like she was an it girl. She was before her time. Hello, well, in today's video I'm gonna be going over basically my experience with makeup over the past 4 years. I started doing makeup in 2020 and I've learned a lot, and in this video I kind of talk about one, like why I first got into makeup, tips and tricks, things you should know. Nothing too crazy, just like a bunch of little tips why I try new makeup that I got during Black Friday. But I think I first wanted to talk about, I still have my glasses on, that's funny. I first wanted to talk about how I first got into makeup. So I was never like the type of girl growing up where I was super into like traditionally girly things. I was never like the type of girl where I was like, ooh, I'm not like the other girls, I like hanging out with boys. I was never that type of girl, but I just wasn't interested in makeup. I wasn't interested in getting my hair done. I was interested in nails. Like if a younger version of me saw current me where it's like I like having my nails done, I like doing my hair, I like doing my makeup, like if a younger version of me, I wear skirts, if a younger version of me saw this, she would be like, who the hell are you? But I don't know, I just wasn't really interested in those things, and I just felt like even if I began to be interested in those things, it always felt weird trying those out because it was like people would notice, you know, and I just didn't like that. Like it would be like, okay, like say I decided to wear a skirt, it'd be like because I never wear skirts, I was like, oh my gosh, Glacy, you're wearing a skirt, like oh my, I don't know, I just didn't like the attention of it all. So I feel like sometimes that even if I was interested in doing something that I didn't previously do, because it felt like I was getting a lot of attention with it, I didn't really want to do it, which I know that sounds weird, but that was just like a younger, super anxious version of me. That's how I operated. Yeah, so makeup, I feel like makeup is just one of those things. I just was never really interested in it. Like my mom doesn't really wear a lot of makeup. Like my mom's kind of like a utility makeup type of person where it's like she wears it to work, she puts on her little concealer. Now, you know, every once in a while, like if we're going out somewhere, she'll put on like eyeshadow or, you know, something special. But like I said, my mom was never like the type of person who was like, oh yeah, my mom does a full beat down face, you know. So that wasn't in my life, and I don't have like an older sister or anything where it was like, you know, someone was doing that. And then going into like middle school, I don't remember girls really wearing makeup for real. Maybe people talked about it. I feel like sometimes like I remember like looking back in like middle school, I'm like, I don't even know if people were doing that or if I was just so disinterested in that type of stuff where I wasn't even paying attention to if people were. So sometimes I'm like, I don't know. But high school, I do remember people started to wear makeup. And I remember specifically there was one girl in my high school where she used to wear makeup a lot. Like this was like 2016. I literally started high school in 2016. And she used to wear like a full beat down face, like 2016 makeup matte down face. And like looking back, it was like she was an it girl, because it was just like you got up every morning. Mind you, you know high school starts at like 8 o'clock on the dot. So it's like you got up, did your makeup in time to commute to school, and you did it all. Like, you know, we didn't really recognize, and like I wasn't into makeup back then, but it's like now that I'm older, I'm into it, it's like she was an it girl. She was before her time. I would just say like in high school, no one really wore makeup, and like I remember when people would talk about it, it was kind of like in a demeaning way, like, oh yeah, like you don't need that. And I remember even just on the internet, I was like, oh yeah, if a girl's wearing too much makeup, like I'll take her on a date and like throw her into the pool or something. It's just like, I don't know, I just feel like a lot of the discourse I did hear about makeup when I did, it was very negative. It was like, it's too much, like why are you doing that, like you're not naturally pretty, like only people who aren't naturally pretty wear makeup. So that was kind of like my general thoughts on makeup when I was younger. And then I think the first time I feel like I got interested in makeup was kind of like end of junior year into senior year. I remember like on YouTube, I would say like just a lot of people were posting like get ready with me's, and that was the type of content I remember I watched a lot of when I was a kid, like, or at that age I should say. I was just watching a lot of like get ready with me's, and I can't remember what people would talk about on get ready with me because this is like pre-TikTok too, so like people would just talk about that. They would talk about like what the event where they were going to, like kind of I guess like this is what they were doing, and I enjoyed that stuff. And then I think the first time I really did my makeup, and I didn't really do much, was for graduation. My mom helped me put on, well, graduation pictures, like which was like in November or something of my senior year of high school. And like she helped me put on like some concealer, did my eyebrows, maybe a little mascara. And I remember like I even brought mascara. Like I was like, okay, I want to like look a little bit done up. So I remember I went to Target and brought mascara and lip gloss, and that was like my first time doing that. And I remember I really liked it. Like I remember feeling myself. I was like, oh, that was like really fun. But like I said, it was just one of those things. Obviously everyone noticed because like Glacy never wears makeup, so everyone's like very keen on it. But I enjoyed it, and everyone was like, oh my gosh, you look really good. And yeah, that's kind of like my only foray into makeup. I never really like ventured into it anymore, but I do remember at this point that was like where the seed was planted, I feel like. And then obviously this was like my senior year, so this was like fall 2019. Everyone knows what happened. Spring 2019, COVID happened, and that's how I first started getting into makeup. Like there was nothing better to do. Mind you, I was also a senior in high school, so it was like, sure, I still had school on Zoom, but ain't nobody give a, like, I was just doing what I had to do so I didn't get fined, and I graduated and was able to matriculate into college, but I wasn't really concerned with school. I mean, I was obviously, but like it was just obviously a lot different. Like the infrastructure, even for like online school, this was like, as it was happening, it was being built. So like just a lot was going on. People were dying, people were sick, people were scared, and like I'm from New York, so everything was just like 10 times scarier because like they were really serious about it and the cases were going up. Everyone was picking up their new COVID hobbies. People were doing, I don't know what people were doing. People were doing making bread, people were working out, people were doing different things. For me, I was like, okay, I'm gonna learn how to do my makeup. So I made my very first makeup order to NYX, and I brought a bunch of products. I don't remember what they were. I could probably like pull it up on the screen, and the rest is history. I've been doing my makeup ever since. I would say honestly, I don't want to say COVID was a blessing because it honestly wasn't. Like it was a very scary period of time, but I really enjoyed the like opportunity to basically work on my makeup for like a year at home. Like I remember I never wore makeup out. Like it was just like at home I would do it every single day. Like I remember, so like when COVID started, I think, were we having like half a days or something? Or I think a lot of the classes you didn't have to go to. Like it was kind of just like, I remember I only had to go to one class because that was the class where they counted attendance, and if you didn't go to any of the other classes, it didn't matter. This was like I said, peak COVID, spring 2020. So it was like I wasn't going to any of the classes because they told me I didn't have to. I only went to the one class I was required to go to. So I remember I would wake up right before that class, go to that class, and then do whatever assignments I had to do, and then I would just like practice my makeup. That was literally my routine. Like my routine, wake up, go to that class so I don't get fined, do assignments, turn in anything I gotta do, put DiGiorno's freezer pizza into the oven, and then practice my makeup. Like that was the routine. And even once I started college, my first year of college was completely on Zoom, and it was the same thing. Like once I finished all my classes, all my assignments in the afternoon, once I finished, because I remember like my first semester of college online, it was like I think I finished all my classes by like 1 p.m. So like once I finished my classes, I would maybe eat lunch, do anything quickly I had to do, and then practice my makeup, because I also like doing my makeup in daylight, just like how I'm doing it right now. I always like doing it like that. So yeah, and I just practice, and I think that's like the biggest thing. Like that's like the first tip we're learning to do your makeup: practice. It really is just practice. So I think, wait, I wrote down tips actually. Like I came down prepared. I think a lot of times people think, oh yeah, you need new product, or oh yeah, you need this, or you need something more expensive. No, you just need to practice. You need to get your reps in, because I'm sorry, I'm trying to open this bottle. It's open. It looks pretty good. Back to my point. You need to practice. That's like the number one thing I would say if you're learning to do your makeup and you want to get better. Please practice, because you're going to spend all your money trying to buy these new products, but what you really need to do is sit down in the stew and get better at your makeup. Because you can buy the most expensive, most well-renowned, like say you're getting into eyeshadow, right? Say you're getting into eyeshadow. You can go and buy like the best, the most expensive, like isn't it Pat McGrath? She has like those $100 4-shade like eyeshadow palettes. It's like you can go and buy that, but if you don't know how to do your eyeshadow, it's still not gonna come out good. It's not gonna look like, oh yeah, any better than drugstore. And just because something's drugstore doesn't mean it's bad either. I feel like right now is a great time to learn how to do your makeup, because there is a lot of good affordable makeup, like so much. Hop on TikTok, everyone's like, oh my gosh, drugstore finds, drugstore dupes. Like even Elf right now, like their whole brand is duping different companies. So you want to get, like, I forgot what this is supposed to be duping, but it's duping something. Like that's, like I said, that's Elf's whole brand right now. Like, so if you want it, you can go and get it. I would say it's kind of hard. Like I said, for me, I got a lot of my practice during COVID. Like that whole year I had in the house where no one saw me except my mother, and my phone where I took a lot of pictures. I took so many pictures, and so I had like a lot of time to practice without feeling like, oh my gosh. And I feel like honestly, if you want to let her do your makeup and you don't feel confident in going out with it, don't. Like just wait. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like say you start doing your makeup today, you could just keep on doing it on the weekends, you know, when you have the time and you're bored, do your makeup. And especially right now, it's winter time. You're probably not really going out that much anyways, right? Going out to parties, going out with your friends. So you can practice, wash it off, do it again. That's literally how I did it. No one saw my makeup. No one knew I learned how to do my makeup. I was just in the stew doing it myself. Okay, back to the makeup though. I would say I like it. It's definitely like, what's the word? Skin tint. I haven't used the skin tint. When I first got into makeup, I never used foundation. I always used things that were like basically skin tint, but I would just use it as my foundation. And this is very much like a lightweight thing. Like it says you can wear it over or under makeup, mixed with foundations, or as a highlighter. So I don't know, I feel like it's interesting. I like it. I think it definitely covered up like some imperfections I have on my face, but at the same time I like it. But at the same time, it's not like a full coverage like my NARS foundation. So I'm just gonna put a little bit more, because I think I am like a I like a medium to full coverage type vibe, but that's not what I'm trying to make it. I just kind of want to make sure we're good. Another thing I want to talk about when learning how to do your makeup is sometimes your makeup isn't coming out like the girls on TikTok or on YouTube because you don't have the anatomy. And you're probably like, girl, what are you talking about? But I feel like I'm glad I learned this pretty early on when I first started doing my makeup. But when I first started doing my makeup, something I didn't talk about in this video yet, but was like, I really liked the idea of eyeshadow. Like, I loved the cut creases, I loved the glittery, like I really love like the art that a lot of people were doing with their eyeshadow. And even to this day, I still like eyeshadow. I just don't really do it that often. But I remember I would be like, oh my gosh, like how come her eyeshadow is coming out this way, or how come this is looking this way? It's because she has literally a different eyelid shape than me. Like, she has way more. Like, I remember I could kind of find people, like I think people like Jackie Aina, I think her name is like Juicy Jazz, I think that's her name, I could be thinking of someone else, but they have, like, I remember watching so many of their videos. I'm like, how come their eyeshadow looks like that? Like, I want my eyeshadows to look like that. Why is it not coming? It's because they literally have different eye hood shapes, you know? Or like, say you have a monolid, your eyeshadow is gonna look different and come out different than how mine does. So you either want to find people who have similar, like, not even just with eyes, right? Anything. Like, you want to find people who look like you in that way, or you want to just learn that one's not gonna look the same on them as you if you're using them as inspiration, or you have to learn how to modify it to make it look as best as possible for you. Because you're gonna spend your whole life thinking like, oh my gosh, I'm not good at makeup, oh my gosh, this doesn't look right, when it's just really, y'all are just built different. And I think even just like in general, like, people were talking, I haven't been on TikTok in a while, but I do remember one of the conversations, there was like one girl and her makeup was going viral. Everyone was like, oh, how to do this girl's makeup, I forgot her name, I should have looked it up, but it was some girl, it was a black like UK girly. You know, the black UK girlies really, I don't know what they got in the water over there, but their makeup is always on point, it always looks good. And everyone was like, oh yeah, we're redoing her makeup routine. And some people was like, oh yeah, it was coming out good. Some people wasn't. Some people was like, the makeup skill isn't there, maybe that's part of it. But then other people, it was like, it looks good, it just looks different, and people are saying it doesn't look that good. It's because you guys just have different anatomy. Like, you can't, makeup can only do so much. Some of this is really just features, you know? And if you don't have certain features, it's not gonna look the same. And it's not to say it's bad, it just isn't gonna look the same, right? Next, I'm gonna go in with my Glossier, my Old Reliable. I feel like this is pretty good for like something that is pretty light, like a light face. I mean, I think I like it. I think it looks good. I think maybe, I don't know why I didn't like it when I first got it. Maybe my makeup skill wasn't there, because even now, like, sure, I don't really watch YouTube videos like makeup tips. I don't really keep up with like makeup TikTok and like all the new trends or whatever, but like, I still feel like my makeup looks different and better than how it looked this time last year, you know? I don't know why, but just, I don't know, trying different things, different reps. Okay, I think the next thing is, it's better to have a smaller makeup collection than it is to have a bigger collection. I mean, this is obviously also subjective. I feel like it kind of depends on what your goals are, so take this one with the grain of, take all of them with the grain of salt. This is just my opinion, obviously. But I would say, I don't know, I don't see the value in having like 1,001 makeup products. Makeup goes bad, and I feel like unless you're someone, if you're the type of person, it depends on the type of person you are with your makeup too. Like, I don't wear makeup every day. Like, sometimes I want to wear makeup every day, like something like this, like a lighter face, but sometimes I just don't get up early. Like, I don't give enough, like, between getting up, going to the gym, making breakfast, making lunch, like, I just don't really have the time or care in the world to be doing all that. So it's just like, my makeup goes through very slowly. Like, this concealer, I can't even tell you when I got this concealer. I've had this concealer for so long. The blushes, this eyebrow thing, like, so much of this stuff I've had for so long, and it looks like it's nowhere close to being done, right? This NARS foundation I've had for literally over a year now, a fifth of the way done. Concealer, I don't even know how much of this has been used. Like, I have so much product. Like, I've had this concealer, I've had this bronzer, this is the one that's the old one. I've had this, I think, since it came out, and it's nowhere close to being done. Like, it probably has, I mean, like, it's definitely used, like, you can see, like, it's gone down, but there's still a lot of product. Unless you're like a makeup influencer, I just don't think you need to be buying every product and falling susceptible to like, oh yeah, like, this is a must-buy product. Like, that kind of goes into the next thing. Like, you want to find the products that work for you and stick to it. You don't have to get every product that every influencer on TikTok or on YouTube is talking about, because one, they're making money from selling the product to you, right? Like, whether it's through ads or through like paid sponsorship, like, they're making money. I'm not saying they're lying about how it's a good product, but they're also being incentivized to overemphasize how good a product is and encourage you to buy it. This is the new bronzer I was talking about. So I think that's something to keep in mind. Makeup takes a long time to go through, so it's kind of just like a waste of money to just have your stuff just sitting unused. Because why does this look wet? Like, this looks crazy. Like, I don't know if you could tell, but it just looks wet, but I guess because it's new. Now it's messed up. But I was like, what? Ooh, that's definitely bronzer. This might, okay. I was scared for a second. I was like, is this gonna be too much on me? I think there's a lot of value in just buying products that you really like and kind of figuring out, okay, what do I want? Like, okay, I'm working on bronzer. I want bronzer, you know? I want a good bronzer, or I want a bronzer that's like glowy, or I want this. Like, just thinking about the things you actually want, not just being constantly slow to. And I know that's like a general principle, but I think with makeup, there's just always like, oh yeah, like the new e.l.f. drop, and like, oh my gosh, this company just came out with this, you have to buy it, it's the best thing ever. It's just like, is it? Didn't y'all say that last week about this? Okay, I think another thing I would say with learning to do your makeup is, at least for me, when I first started to learn my makeup, it also went hand in hand with getting into skincare. And I would say when I first got into skincare, my skin broke the hell out because I was just trying so many products. Like, it was crazy. And this was also like I don't know if skincare is really as popular as it used to be, but I just felt like in 2020, when I got into makeup and skincare was like really popping off. And it was like when everyone was obsessed with The Ordinary and that like bloody red leg thing. I never bought that, but like, oh yeah, is it like Hyram approved and all those different things. And like, I would say this, skincare, obviously everyone's skin is different. I think some people's skins are naturally just really clear, right? I would say for me, my skin, I break up every once in a while, but a lot of times if you see my skin looking clear, it's because my skin's just naturally on the clearer side. I won't say like I really deal with acne. Like, you know, sometimes I have some more breakouts other times, but I wouldn't really say it's really intense or anything super crazy. And some people are just like that, you know? So taking skincare advice from someone who has a more simpler skin needs is dumb, because that's not reflecting yours. If you have more intense skincare needs, you should be maybe consulting a dermatologist, because that would probably heal you a lot quicker than going and buying all these over-the-counter like skincare products that aren't really targeting the things that you really need. And even if you do find things that work, I just feel like you should stick to it to see long-term results, instead of like changing, oh, like this product just came out, let me try this, oh, let me do this. Like, I don't really try new skincare. I kind of stick to what I know. Skincare doesn't have to be expensive. A lot of the things I have are from e.l.f. or from Neutrogena, like things that aren't super expensive. Obviously, it's your prerogative, but I just don't think you need a super complex skincare system. And if you're being sold that, or you feel like you have additional needs, try to seek out a dermatologist. Obviously, I know healthcare in America is really weird, but if you can, you should. Okay, now I'm gonna be trying the Camel liquid blush, which is really pigmented. I know these are supposed to be dupes for the Rare Beauty one. I actually recently got the Rare Beauty one. I'm just afraid to like, I don't know if I should put this on my face directly. I'll put one dot. This is very pink. Do I like it? I think so. So a lot of the blushes I use have been orange blush. I love me a good orange blush. I've been using a lot of red blush. That's like an old classic for me. I love that red putty blush that e.l.f. has. This brush feels like it's about to break, which is sad, but I'm about to put a little bit more. Don't fall into the trap that, oh my gosh, just because the makeup is more expensive, because I feel like this is a really good product, and it was only, I don't know how much this was. I think it's like $7 retail. Probably paid less because I got all of this on like Black Friday sale. But don't ever fall into the trap that you need to be paying an arm and a leg, or like only shopping for Sephora. Like, a lot of the products I use, brushes, are drugstore brushes. I like this. I think it's really cute. Kind of giving, you know how Sabrina Carpenter has like a lot of like blush? I like that look, pinky blush. Now I'm gonna try this, kind of top it off. And like, I never really used powder blush, honestly. Like, since I started doing my makeup, this is like my first time owning a powder blush. I don't know why I'm struggling to say that. I'll use this brush I got from e.l.f. a while back. See how that goes. I don't know if this was the same color, would you say? I don't know, but I might have said all this and like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like I don't really like powder blush necessarily. I don't know if this was the same shade. Maybe this one's a little more muted. I don't know, I feel like they're pretty similar. Maybe I just don't like matte blush. I don't know, maybe if I did that with my more full coverage look. We'll see. It's not done yet. The look is not done. Next thing, why you should learn to do your makeup in the year of 2025. We're in December right now, so I mean, you can learn now. It's never too late to start now. I think you should learn because I think it's so nice when you have events going on in your life and you want your makeup to be done. You don't have to worry about, oh, I have to book this girl in my area, and like all the things with booking someone off of IG. I'm sorry. And I think also, like, even with makeup, sometimes like I just have a certain way I like my makeup to look. Like sometimes I'll look at like makeup stylists in my area and like consider, I mean obviously you can find someone, but it's just like, my point is everyone has a certain way they like their makeup to look. And going to a stylist, sometimes like people will go and it's like and they'll be like, oh yeah, I don't really like how my makeup looks, I think the makeup was that. It's like, it's not nothing wrong with the stylist, there was nothing wrong with how the makeup artist did your makeup. It's more just like, maybe one, they didn't suit it to your face, and then two, that makeup style just isn't your style. Like even if the makeup, there's nothing wrong with the makeup, it's like maybe you would have liked more of like a dewier look, or maybe not as glam, but then the look you got was a glamour look. So I feel like you know what you like more, and even if you do end up going to book, like you know what you're looking for in makeup when you know how to do your own makeup. And you don't have to worry about, for a simple event, oh I have to go pay $100, when you can go and get a full drugstore beauty kit for $100. I think I like how my makeup looks. Like I think this looks pretty good. Put a little powder, Halo Glow setting powder. Like I said, a lot of this was from the drugstore. Maybe I'll link everything. We'll see how I feel about that. I think another reason you should learn how to do your makeup, because it's fun. I feel like it's honestly so fun. Just do your makeup. It's like I did myself up for fun, for no particular reason other than for fun. And then two, it's an easy way to glow up. Like everyone on social media is pushing Botox, like Ozempic, all these like medical interventions to change your life. Obviously Ozempic's weight loss, that's different, but if you want to change your face and you're only 20 something and you're talking about Botox and this job and that job and all these different surgeries, maybe you should try makeup first. Like obviously it's not permanent, obviously, but it's way cheaper, it's fun, it's a great skill to have as a person, and it'll save you money. Mascara is no laughing matter. Oops, already got some on my eyelid. But I think it's a great budget glow up. Like I said, literally you can go from looking like, I don't want to say you look terrible, but it's like you look like, okay, I was just at work making my bread, and then you're like, ooh, I'm a baddie, IG baddie, you know, look real good. And I don't know, it's just really fun. And I think also for me, it's like I did that, you know, it's like I got myself together, I did the glow up, I didn't have to go nobody to book to do my makeup, or you know, to do no plastic surgery or Botox or anything like that. Like, and I have nothing against those things, I'm just saying like it just, you did it yourself. So I think like part of it's like a confidence boost, and like one, I look good, you know, I'm enhanced, and then two, it's like I did that myself, I have the skill to do that myself. Okay, mascara is done. This is the Fenty one. Love that one down. How you can get better at your makeup, or like how you should learn, I think the first thing is starting small. Don't feel like you need to come on your first day of doing your makeup and everything has to be done to the gods and everything needs to be perfect. I feel like you want to start in baby steps. The first step, okay, maybe you're starting with doing your eyeshadow, right? Learning how to do your eyeshadow, learning the basics, learning how to do a cut crease, learning how to do this, learning how to blend, learning how to blow out, like, you know what I'm saying, all these different things. I feel like you could start there, right? Then you want to learn how to do your eyebrows, you know, or like obviously you're learning how to do everything at once, but you're focusing on mastering one thing at a time. Like for me, I feel like I focused a lot on my eyeshadow, and then I worked on my eyebrows, and then I worked more on a full face. And just go by there, step by step, and then you're like, okay, maybe I want to work on my blush game, or maybe I want to work on my bronzer. Just going piece by piece, you know, master. You're gonna be a master of all, but just slowly but surely. Once again, I think also to start small with the purchases. What if you realize you actually don't really like doing your makeup, or you're not gonna do your makeup that often? I mean, even if you don't do that often, I don't think there's anything wrong with spending a lot of money on something, even if you don't do it that often. But I would just say start small, buy stuff from the drugstore, figure out, do I like doing my makeup? Is this something for me? And like I said, learning from there, because then also it's like, if you know, go run through a whole palette because you're practicing how to do your makeup, you don't feel bad because it's like, okay, I was just practicing, this palette was $5 off ColourPop, rather than like blowing through a Pat McGrath palette and wasting it because you didn't really know what you were doing in the first place. Starting small is a good way to go, and like you can kind of just really learn different products, learning, okay, what do I like in a product, what don't I, instead of like spending, okay, I spent $40 on this powdered blush and I don't even like powdered blush, when you could have brought like one from the drugstore that is highly recommended, but it wasn't as expensive.